Welcome to the Lotco Business Podcast, a show all about helping you as a retailer, brand, or creative understand the actual business side of running your business. I offer straightforward, practical advice about the nitty-gritty of making money from your creative passion. We will be covering bite-sized business and marketing lessons, as well as interviews with experts and trailblazers in the fashion, homewares, and design industries. My name is Melissa Robbins. I'm a business coach, colour-loving, non-coffee drinking Melburnian. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome to today's podcast. Super excited to have a special guest here today who's going to share lots of valuable information with us. We have Anna Shipley from Flourish Digital. Thank you so much for being here, Anna.
Thank you for having me, Mel.
Super excited to have you share lots of information today. Now, you are known as you are a Facebook ads expert, and you run Facebook ads for e-commerce especially and product-based businesses, which is definitely one of the reasons, obviously, we have met and crossed paths before, and love that we've met in person a few times. I can't even remember now.
Yeah, a couple of times now. Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about the work you do?
Sure. Well, I work mainly with e-commerce brands, as you said, product-based businesses. My main service is Facebook ads, really. That's what I've been known for. I did start off doing other things when I first started this business, social media management, but Facebook ads just completely took over. Mm-hmm. That's what I mainly do. And also I help businesses who come on board. Sometimes they just need some strategy help and some consulting. I offer business consulting as well for those who are just feeling a little bit stuck with the whole marketing funnel, and just to give them that little bit of assistance in their strategy. I also offer that as well. But Facebook ads is mainly what I do.
Yeah, amazing. And so how did you get into this work? Like, where did you get started in that? What have you done before?
This really started by accident. But before this, I did have an online store. So I had that store for 5 years, from 2014 to 2019. Yeah. And I had no plans on opening up or starting another business. I literally had started a new job in a school doing finance and admin, and I was loving that. And I had that store. I sold that store. I thought I had outgrown that store. I thought, no, that's it. And this just started by one day a local florist asked me if I could help her grow her Instagram account. I had grown quite a large following with my previous business. I had networked a lot, and she said, can you help me? And I went, okay, I think I've just started another business. And it just went from there. It literally just went from there. So yeah, that's how I started.
And what was your brand? What did you sell in your online store?
So my business was Sweet Little Dreams. That was all baby gifts and decor. I set out to have that store being not the leader at the time, but a really boutique nursery items that I guess the Insta mums were buying from me. They were really buying from me to deck out their whole nursery. They wanted that luxe nursery, something that was on trend that you could not find in stores. So that's what I mainly sold. And then I had I had two types of audiences where I had another part of clientele who were grandparents or people, a lot of corporate businesses were buying gifts for people having babies. So that was the other side of the business as well. But every product complemented each other. I was very particular on what I sold, and I had to all sort of fit in with the branding and my customers.
That's important though, is that as a buyer for that, like to really have that strong aesthetic of who you are. And that also then helps obviously with what you do now. If if your client comes in with a strong understanding of who their customer is, makes a huge difference to how you can set up their ads, right?
A huge difference, but you really need to know your customer. I really knew my customer. I sent out at that time, about 2 surveys via email marketing. I sent them out. What do they want? What do they like? It was really an eye-opener to see what they wanted, and that helped me buy stock for my store and just know that I was on top of everything. So it's really important to know your customer. And that translates also into Facebook ads as well, knowing what your customer, their needs, their wants, desires, all that sort of stuff, what keeps them up at night, all those things that you ask a customer. So,
so what are the essential before getting started with ads? Like, I'm sure you have people come to you and you're like, hang on a second. Let's pull back a bit. So what are some of the essentials before getting started? Like, what do they need to have in place, or what should they have set up?
First of all, I always look at their website conversion rate. Conversion rate must sit at least 2%. Now, I have on certain occasions let that slip. I did start working with one client who's still my client today, and that was about 1%, but I knew her history. She had a large wholesale account, I guess, customers buying from her wholesale. She was a very well-known product. She just had slowed down her online sales, and I knew that would pick up right away. So if you're going to start Facebook ads, website conversion rate, have a product that people want. I know people say, oh, but how would I know if I'm not running Facebook ads? Well, you've got to do the groundwork first as well. Start collecting email subscribers. Have content on your website, lots of images, professional images. Your website, I can't express this enough, how important it is to have a website that is designed professionally as well. I mean, you can start off, some people do a great job with their website, they do it themselves, and I think, wow, that looks amazing. But yeah, you can't have a website that is not, I guess, user-friendly and hard to navigate. It won't work. Yeah, and unprofessional images, it just won't work. You really need to do that work first before you invest in Facebook ads, because it is an investment.
Yeah. And that's it. Like, there's no point sending the traffic if you're not converting the right numbers, sort of volume of traffic that you're having to send there. And I think this is where I have why I created, I have that program where I have, boost your conversion rate, because I know people, and I don't do Facebook ads myself in terms of run them for people, but I definitely have it as one of the things I think people should be doing. But until they get that website converting, it is sometimes that chicken and egg, like, what do you do first? You don't know if it's converting, you don't have enough people coming, but also you cannot just create that website once and then forget about it. Like, it has to be an ongoing thing where you, constantly updating your reviews, or you're adding new slideshows, or it doesn't have to be a slideshow, but new imagery, like your front-facing window. I mean, just even going into the call to actions, the first thing I talk about in my conversion 5-day conversion program is, like, so many people don't have any call to actions on their website. Like, you go there and there's no shop buttons or anything.
That blows my mind how people, you really need to be updating your website. I have a client who I do this for. I think every 2 weeks we're updating her homepage. Banners. We send out an email with her every week, and every week she gets a brand new banner to pop on her website to keep that fresh. I don't do any really high tech stuff with her, but I've even had a word to her to say it's come to the point where now you really need to redesign this whole website. It's only 4 years old, but 4 years is a long time. And it's showing in her results with her ads. So we've had to have that hard talk where I think it's time to completely redesign the whole website. It's not working anymore for you.
Well, and when I look at the websites as well, you look at sort of ones from the past, for example, there's be a lot more white space. There's a lot more smaller photos and imagery. Now, what I see a lot of is, like, big, bold, large
images.
fonts, big, bold, all across the page, and it's block color. Like, you don't, it's changed a lot, right, in the last couple of years alone.
Yes, it certainly has. It has changed a lot. I've seen that too. Big, huge images. It almost takes up the whole screen.
Yeah, and close-ups, like in detail imagery and stuff like that.
Videos. I've seen some amazing video footage of the product. Like, I think I saw one the other day, was a shoe brand, and the way they use the shoe was like almost like a 3D type image. It was incredible. It was really, really eye-catching.
Yeah. Yeah, and so focusing on your website first to sort of get some tweaks and stuff sorted before you start Facebook ads. And obviously the things that clearly people need to have pixels set up and stuff like that, so they can do retargeting and stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah, pixel is a must, yes.
And because I think that's a thing, like, obviously we'll get into the different types of ads, but retargeting is obviously a big part of, you can't just run cold all the time. It has to be a whole system of ads, right, in place.
Yes and no. It's changed a lot lately.
Okay, that's good.
Really interesting. Yeah, it's retargeting for some people is just not working anymore. I think I have about 2 clients now out of all my clients that we are running retargeting ads for. And that's because they've been running ads for years. They're not brand new.
Yeah.
This is why email marketing is so important, because that needs to do a lot of the heavy lifting as well.
It's the nurture, right? It's the once they're in.
Absolutely.
It's the nurture side of it. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So have that email marketing flow in place, the abandoned cart flow. We can test retargeting. And like I said, for one customer, for one client, it is working very well for her still. But she's been running ads a long time. She has a really warm pixel, a very loyal, very, very loyal customers. They keep coming back. So that works for her. And I have another customer or client where it's not even working at all. No matter what I throw at it, a catalog, anything does not work anymore. And this used to work for her years ago. It just depends as well.
It depends on how much you have on your website too, I assume, because you know, a lot of people I work with they've either got their own brand and they've got one product or one type of product, you know, in their category.
Yeah.
Or then I also work with retail stores who have, you know, huge amounts of variety in their product and their stock. So then obviously it's going to be quite different what you're going to do for each of those different customers.
Very, very different. And I have those customers. I've got one customer who's got one brand, one product, with multiple colours. Low price point, $29.95. So I had to go in with her with a very different strategy.
Yeah.
With how I go in with, say, I've got a few children's boutiques that I work with because of my history having my online store, which was the kids space.
Yeah.
A lot of those people I networked are now my clients. And that's a whole different strategy for them. You've really got to find that winning product. And this is where knowing your customer, and I guess my experience with having that store, I guess I find it quite easy to find that winning product because I know what sells well. And it's just finding that one product that sells well, that people want. And especially these days with the economy and everything, you really got to find something that people really do want as opposed to it's a luxury need. You know what I mean? Like it's something that, if it's for a baby, like something that they have to buy for their baby.
Interesting.
And so that, you've got to find that winning product. It's two different strategies that you need to work out.
And so what are some of the biggest mistakes people make with Facebook ads when they're getting set up? It's a big question.
It is a big question. I'll give you two scenarios. If they're running them themselves and then they finally come across and think, I can't do this anymore. When they're running them themselves, and I find a lot of people these days are running them themselves because they just can't afford to hire someone like me, I guess, they are fiddling with their ads so much that it is hurting their conversions. Honestly,
so they're not
leave
just
it alone.
letting it run to test what's actually going to happen.
Yes.
They just need to, okay. So how long is that testing period or?
Well, it depends on your metrics. It's hard to say because you've really got to understand the stats on your dashboard. And that's where people don't learn. So they just go, I'll just put up an ad. It's not making any sales. And they'll start changing things around. But really, it's probably almost there to get a sale, but they've touched it and they've turned it off and I don't know. I've seen one account that had so many ads, I didn't know where to look. But they just panicked and was turn off, start another one, turn off, start another one. And there was like dozens. When I guess for me, when I'm running Facebook ads, the biggest mistakes I see, and this is a huge one, is not enough content. It's something I explain to my clients before we get started. We need content and we need lots of content. And they just feel, I guess when they come on board, they think, okay, Facebook ads is running, I don't need to do anything. But that's not the case. You need to get that content happening. You need fresh images, videos, UGC content. That's the biggest mistake I see when somebody hires someone else to run their ads. And the other thing I see, and this is mainly for people who manufacture their own products, I find they're the ones that they can't let go.
Yeah.
So
like, I want to control everything.
Like that color is wrong for, that background. I don't like that word, or I'm not sure about that audience. I'm like, you just got to trust me that this is right. No one cares if that's a little bit shade, that green is a little bit darker than your logo, because really they're looking at the product and how this is going to solve their problem. They don't care about the background color. So they're the ones that I've got to be really a little bit gentle with and like, that's okay. It's just trust. Just please trust me. And then if it's not working, we'll work it out, So they're the ones who are really all over. And I can understand it's their baby, it's their passion, it's their business. So
yeah. Just going back to, you mentioned about the ones who are running their own ads. They mess around with it too much, what are what would be a good amount of time as a generalization to sort of leave something and test it? And then also, what are the metrics that you would want to be checking?
Yeah, so I usually say when you launch an ad, leave it for 48 hours. Let the algorithm do its job.
Surely. Yeah.
At least 48 hours. And I know it's hard. I'm running my own ads at the moment. I had a little peek this morning. I launched it last night. I won't touch it though, but I understand because you're seeing your money tick away and you think, oh my God, I haven't even got a sale yet. Shit, what do I do? But the metrics you really need to look out for, and this is what I do, and it's usually people who are not spending, like I'm not talking about high spends, like people spending $1,000 a day. Look at the flow of your funnel. Look at the impressions, like how many impressions. My general rule is if you've reached 1,000 impressions and you've had no sales, it's time to flip it out, whether it's duplicate it, change the image or change the copy. You don't know what it was, but check the metrics as well. I have my columns set up where it shows your flow, landing page view, your add to cart, initiate, check, exactly what a customer would do when they're shopping with you. And you can start to see the bottlenecks. Now, for me, who's been doing this for a long time, I know, okay, there's a bottleneck right here. Let's go on the website and see what's happening.
Yes, if they're all adding to cart, but then they're all stopping there, there's something going on at the checkout.
There's something wrong. Most cases, it's the shipping information. Most cases, they don't trust you. Most cases, it's, okay, there's not enough information about, whatever. And usually, most cases, it's the shipping. So it's analyzing those metrics, the soft stats on your dashboard and okay, what's going on? Why is this not converting? And understanding that. Because anyone can put up an ad. That's not hard. But it's all the other bits and pieces.
Steps and moving people through, as you say, that funnel. So, getting them there is the first part. Then your website's going to do the work to sort of get them through to the end.
Yeah, and this is where it goes back to the...
and then as you say, like if they haven't bought this time, if they've been added to your list or anything, like it's then the nurturing of those people with your email marketing to really boost that value so that you're not just looking at your ad as well going, what is the return on ad spend? But also, I mean, you obviously want to look at that, but you also then want to go, well, but has this customer then bought 4 more times in the last year? So then what are they worth? Was it worth doing that in the first place?
Yes, absolutely right. Yeah. And this is, not only email marketing, it's also lately, and I guess not lately, but this has come up a lot lately, where people, if you're not consistent even on your social media and you're selling a product, some people go and check you out on social media. And if you haven't posted on there in a month, they think you've closed down. And I had that comment to me the other day. Actually, it was yesterday. I had a discovery call with a new client and she said, I haven't posted on my social media for 3 weeks. And I actually had the comment, she's running her own ads, that, they thought I had closed down. I said, oh, my goodness. Everything needs to work. The whole marketing funnel, email marketing.
It's a system, right? It's a system.
Absolutely, yes. You can't just let it go because I'm running Facebook ads and that's going to do all the work for me. No. Yeah. That's one part of the puzzle. There's still work to be done everywhere else.
Yeah. And I guess that's it. Like, and that's what I say to people. And I know we've had this conversation when we've met up and stuff, but it's like they're not a magic bullet. They're a great asset to have. They definitely should be part of your whole marketing arsenal and system that you have in place. And they can be absolutely amazing for getting the right traffic or getting more traffic. But it's got to all work together and you cannot just be relying on that one thing.
Absolutely, 100%. It really all needs to be working together.
Yeah. And so lessons learned, like what are some of the things that you would say to people, or I guess lessons learned over your time just doing Facebook ads in general? What happens? What's going on?
So many lessons. My God, where do I start? Lessons learned. I guess, oh God, I wouldn't even know where to say. It's changed so much over the years. I think for me, the biggest lesson is, goodness me. For me, budget.
It's always changing, right? Like one of the big things is it's always changing. You've got to just be always learning the new.
Yeah. I think actually 2 things are coming to mind. Budget. A big lesson is I think you can't expect to have, thousands of dollars coming into your into your ads or sales revenue wise if you're only spending, I don't know, $10 a day. People think that's a big budget. That's not even $100 a day these days is a big budget. So that's a big lesson, is really look at your finances, because not only do you need that monthly budget, that monthly, that $100 or $50 a day, let's just say, or $3,000 a month. But if you're hiring someone, you need to pay for their retainer. So you need to allocate that. So really look at your whole, your finances in general, and can you sustain that month on month? That's a big lesson, and a lot of people have had to learn that lesson where they've completely run out of money. So don't think you're going to run Facebook ads, it's going to make you millions of dollars right away. It won't. And it will take time. It will make you money. Yeah. I don't know how much, but it will in some cases. Another big lesson, and this has been the whole time I've run Facebook ads, is you've got to ride the storms. So just because you're having a bad week or a bad day does not mean that your Facebook ads are completely crap. You have to ride the storm, the highs and the lows.
The stock market, you're in it for the long haul. Like, if it drops, don't get out. Like, sort of stay there.
Look away when it drops. And if you've got someone managing your ads for you, just know you're in good hands. Obviously, you've hired them. You have to trust them. But there will be highs and there will be lows, especially when Meta is doing something behind the scenes. When there's a big change happening, you will expect a dip to happen. There's glitches all the time. There's all sorts of things happening every single time. So you will be riding the storm, and you've just got to ride it. You can't just go, Facebook ads is crap, I'm not doing this anymore. You can't do that. It really is a long-term game.
Yeah, I like that. And just touching on your first point there about the financials, like, this is also what I always harp on about in, all my programs and stuff, and people are probably sick of me talking about it. But your margins, like, if you don't have good margins in your product, then you can't afford to, like, I always say to people, your margin is there to allow you to acquire a sale, right? It's a customer acquisition cost is going to be there regardless of where you sell, whether it's sell wholesale, whether you sell direct to consumer, whether you sell at a market. You have to pay somewhere to get a customer. And so you always need margin. And so, for example, if you are just purely selling direct to consumer, or you want that to be your business model, you have to pay to get a customer, which is the Facebook ads or the retainer to get that customer.
You do. And at the first couple of months, you're probably losing, because you need to allow, if you're just starting out in Facebook ads, you're going to be losing some money. And I'm very honest and upfront with all my clients. I tell them, that's why there's a 3-month contract, because we need to allow that time to test. If it doesn't work and I feel like I can't make it work for you because your profits are dipping, because I look at all that, then it's not worth it. I won't carry on. I can't, ethically, I can't do that. I don't know. I just cannot work with somebody when I can see their funds are dropping. There's no profit. They're not making any money. No, I can't work like that. And I will be honest and tell them. I've let go of a few clients over the years, telling them this is not working for you. You're probably better off learning it yourself. But at the start, the profits will be low, the margins, everything, your costs will be high. But then it all starts to even out, and it will start to work once all the testing has happened. But those brands where it does work, they are really all over their numbers. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. So, knowing your numbers. That's actually my next podcast topic. I'm going to be talking about knowing your numbers. It's one of those things.
Know your numbers. It's so important.
Gosh. I think I didn't see this time, but at Life in Style, I do the business couch, and every single person that I sat down and chatted to was all like, came back to numbers. It's all about your numbers. Like, you've got to understand them in business, and you got to know what's going on. You got to know, let's say if you're running ads for a retail store, they've got to have a margin in your overall gross profit margin. You really want to be knowing what that is. Like, if they're at 40%, it's going to be really hard to make.
Really hard. Well, that's why we always
really
work
hard to make money.
Yeah, like I'll ask them, what products do you sell that have a high margin? So let's start with those. I've got one client who has a boutique store, and she manufactures some of her own products. So we'll go for them. We'll sell them because it's a high profit for her. She doesn't have to pay anybody else. So she's a perfect example of someone who knows her numbers, who's all over them. even some people manufacture their own product. I'll tell them what are your costs involved with your product and everything. So I can start to work out, okay, what costs do I need to acquire this customer?
Yeah.
So usually retails, the ones who are selling other people's products, like shops and what have you, we like to see their costs around the $25 mark, cost per result. Anyone who manufactures, obviously it differs because they're manufacturing themselves. But we're going to have a general sort of rule. And once it starts to get higher than that, it's like, okay, something needs to change. Your costs are too high. So that's why even I need to know the numbers as well when I'm working with these clients. And sometimes the clients have no clue, like, oh, I don't know what the margin is. It's like, okay, well, what's something that's really high? And I've had to teach them, some of them, because they just don't know.
Absolutely.
It's really important.
It's just a crucial element, and I think people guesstimate too much, essentially.
They do.
They just think, oh, I think that's what it is. Anyway, let's move on because I could go on about that one for a long time.
And that's your next episode, so we'll leave it for that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so getting started, get their sort of understand what their numbers are analytics-wise on their website. So knowing, first of all, having the right pixel set up. They've got to have know what their conversion rate is, what their average order value is.
Yes.
Is there a particular average order value that you look for, or?
Yes, actually. I like to work with products that are around $25 and over. I do. If someone comes to me and they're selling, I don't know, something that's worth $15, it's not worth it for them. Their return on ad spend will be so low. It's just not viable for them to run Facebook ads. And this is when we start to work on a different strategy. So for the client who I mentioned earlier, who sells one product in multiple colors, retail price $29.95. Now, like I said, this is a perfect example where, due to the economic, crisis, I guess, people aren't buying 2, 3 of these products. They're buying one. So we had to change things up. So we introduced bundle offers.
Bundles. I love some bundles. I love
bundles. I could talk about bundles all day. So we did that. We did a bundle of 4 on her website. Yeah. I did a reel about this actually, I think last week. And she did 10K in sales in, I think it was about 2 months when we introduced, what are we in August? Yeah. 3 months, And she didn't even know. And I said, have a look at this. I did a screenshot. And I did a reel on it. She goes, you're joking. I actually saw her at the trade show. She came down and I said, have a look at this. She couldn't believe it. And I said, well, there you go. That's just from a bundle. And it was a buy 4 and they had a discount. So now we're going to introduce another bundle, which is a buy 2. Buy 2 of these and they get another discount just to lower it because I think that one's starting to slow down. But bundle it up if you do have a low price product.
Yeah, and if you've got the one product that you sell as a brand.
Yeah, the one product,
And I think that's it. Like, one of my clients, she has a 10-pack bundle and that's one of her best sellers.
Yeah. It depends on the product. Yeah, I had another client who sold affirmation cards and they were, I think, $19.95. Beautiful affirmation cards for kids. And I said to her, this is going to go off. I love this. And we worked together. We did consulting for a few months. And then I started running her Facebook ads. And we put together some bundles on a website. So she had affirmation cards and then she had other bits and pieces that complemented the cards. And she created gift boxes. Yeah. So she went from selling a product from $19.95. The bundles were around $79.95. It boosted her revenue and her profits so much. I can't give you the exact amount because it was a few months ago now, but it was incredible. They were her best sellers. She went and bought some nice white boxes, some nice little, what's that stuff you put inside the boxes? I don't know. Like
tissue and stuff, yeah.
That drawer stuff. I don't even know the name. And she put that in there. She packaged up really beautifully. She put a little sticker on the box. They were her best seller.
Yeah.
So
do you have a particular bundle app that you would recommend or use?
Oh, good question, Mel. I don't have. These are bundles they've created themselves, just popped on the website. So they haven't even actually used
it's not a bundle app. It's just
it's not an app.
Product being created.
They just put an image up and called it a bundle, 4-pack bundle, put some images up, taken photos. Like the lady with the gift box, she took a really nice photo of the box and there was individual photos as well, close-ups. And we just created the bundle. She created another collection in her store, bundles, and it just grew from there. She went from like 2-3 bundles to about 6. So it had its own collection in her store. So it wasn't actually an app, but there are apps out there that can do that for you.
And I think that's where as well, just touching on that, you mentioned the photo. So I always recommend, like, I've got I think the podcast I did not long ago was 8 different product images you need on your website. And one of the ones I always talk about is, that gathering of the products, so that even if you're not yet doing the bundle, you've got a photo when you originally have your photos taken. And this is obviously for brands in particular, that you have a bundle photo almost taken, because when you're ready to do a bundle, you've got like the 3-pack photo showing that that's how many you get.
Right.
Because I had a client she had sunscreen, and her photo was a five of the product in the photo, but she had a 3-pack bundle. I'm like, that does not make sense for the customer. Like, you can't do that. You either got to have that 5 bundle or take a photo with 3, right? Like, make sure it makes sense for the customer.
It needs to make sense, because you don't, and that's another, you don't want to confuse the customer on the website. It's like, you don't want them to think when they're on the website.
Yeah. Yeah. So just and again, let's just touch on this, because I see it come up again, and anytime you're in the groups, the Facebook groups, like-minded and those sort of groups, you see them come up, and people talk about the cost of the website. And for me, I love Shopify. I know you probably love Shopify.
Love Shopify.
And to me, it comes back to, you're going to make more sales if you've got a Shopify checkout system. So the amount of cost that you spend on Shopify, you're going to make back in sales, because it's a simpler system, right? Would you agree with that?
Very simple. Yeah, absolutely. And Shopify integrates with everything so easily. Klaviyo, just apps. When I had my store on Shopify 5 or 6 years ago now, it didn't even have all the apps it has now. Back then, I thought it was the bee's knees. There is so many themes you can use that's suitable for your brand. Just everything has just come a long, long way. And it's just, to me, I would not even think about anything else. And if you're a brand and you're looking at starting a store and you're like, oh, no, I can't pay for that, it's too expensive, you're going to be paying for it later on, and you're going to be spending more money later on switching from Wix, because Wix does not integrate very well with the Pixel or Facebook ads, because I don't even work with Wix websites. You're going to spend more money hiring someone to do that transition. So I say, spend it once, spend it wisely, go to Shopify, and it's done, and it's yours.
Yeah. I when I see those comments, I'm like, no. Like, it's going to cost you more money, and you're going to lose sales if you don't have it. Personally, I mean, I don't know. I'm an online shopper. I shop all the time online.
Me too.
And if I get to a checkout that makes me go and get my card, forget it. I'm like, if I have to get up and go get my card or find my card number, I'm out.
Yeah, and I've done that many times where I've wanted to email them, say, hey, just not to be rude, but really sorry, I'm an e-commerce specialist, Facebook ads, blah, blah, blah. Just a little tip.
Yeah. It drives me crazy. But anyway, I think, but it's, and I guess that's where running a business costs money. It's definitely where you need that price, and you need the right price, you need the right margins, you need to attract the people. You've got to understand all those pricing. But the cost of doing business is paying for a website, or paying for ads, or paying to get customers. So knowing your numbers and getting that right.
It is, absolutely. But having said that as well, don't feel like you have to do everything right away. Like, take your time. I mean, when I had my store, I think I was 2 years in before I even thought about running Facebook ads. I knew I wasn't ready. Financially, I wasn't ready. I knew my website wasn't quite where I wanted it to be. I started very slow. Like, no one wants to sell product to a brand new person. I got a lot of knockbacks, and then I started to slowly increase more of my offerings and more products, and the website got bit nice, and then I changed my logo, rebranded, because you go through that growth period. And then I thought, okay, well, I've got enough product here, I'll start running some Facebook ads. Very low budget back then. I wish I knew everything I knew now back then. I'd love to open up another store just to put all that back into practice. But then I had a client, a poor lady, who just came, who wanted to run Facebook ads, spent all this money on branding, like $6,000 on branding, what have you. And honestly, does it match her products? I don't know. I'm not a branding expert. But then decides, no, I want to be big. And I said, but hold on, you're only 12 months in. You've really got to take time. No, but they have this mentality of, no, I have to replace my full-time job wage, and I want to stay home with my kids, and I want to do this. But they're hurting themselves. You've really got to take the time You really do. It's not something you jump in straight away, because it's bottom line of dollars and everything. Like it was hurting her. She had no money in the end. She's like, oh, I'll run Facebook ads. I want to, okay, we'll give it a go. But we paused, and within a couple of months, she was not ready. So steady growth, take your time.
Knowing what you want your business to be. Like, do you want it to be a long-term sustainable business that's going to grow and grow and grow?
Correct.
And many, if people have the budget, they can obviously throw money at things.
Throw it.
For it. But it doesn't mean that everyone has to do that, or that you need to do that to build a business.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Take your time, do your homework, do the things that are important, grow your email list, imagery, have a Shopify site that looks amazing and is user-friendly. So start off with the most important parts first, then step into the next stage and keep growing from there. But it's not going to happen overnight. It won't. And when you see people compare themselves, but that brand is doing so well, but they've been in business 10 years or 5 years or 6 years, not 6 months. So it's really hard.
Get the foundations right and really grow from there. Yeah, that's really important. So Anna, how can people work with you?
So they can work with me a few ways. Obviously, if they want the ads managed by me, I offer that. I've got 2 packages available now. I've got a brand new package. One's a little bit high level, which includes email marketing. The other way they can work with me is if they're running their own Facebook ads and they want to get the ads audited, they can book in a 1-hour live session with me, and we work through that together. We screen share, it's recorded, they go away and they action whatever we have discussed on that call, and they get an email with some point forms on that. There's a couple of ways there. That's the most popular ways. I also offer a VIP day. So I set up all the ads for you, I do all the research, everything, and then you just go ahead and manage it yourself, because some people just don't know what to do. Audiences, I do all the research and it's all yours to manage.
Yeah.
So they're the main ways you can work with me.
Yeah, I love it. There's a few different options for people, depends on where they're at. Yeah. And you're on Instagram under Flourish Digital _.
That's correct. That's where I am most of the time. Yeah.
And showing up and doing crazy reels, and I love watching them as well.
I did go a little bit serious for a while there, and people noticed, but I'm back to
You went a little what?
I went all serious and all like quiet and all sophisticated. That's not me. So I went back to being smartass Anna, and really,
I think authenticity is where it's at, right? Like people want to know.
And I've noticed my reach has increased and my engagement just by me doing my silly reels but like that, there is a serious message in them. It's not just there is a serious message in those reels, and I'm having fun making reels again. So yeah.
That's good. That's what we want.
Away with my content. Actually, I get a bit, the Italian blood comes out of me, and I get all passionate, like on a tangent. But that's where you'll find it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Anna. I really appreciate your time, and I hope people have taken a few little tidbits to help them with their ads and their business in general.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to the Lotco Business Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you subscribe to receive future episodes as they are released. And I'd be so grateful for a review on Apple Podcast. If you would like a copy of the show notes or any of the links mentioned today, please jump onto my website at thelotco.com.au/podcast. Have an amazing week, and I look forward to chatting to you again soon.